Alright, how did we get here? Cylinder number 3. Well, cylinder number 3 was not firing. I tested the injector and tested the injector plug, connector, and the wiring in correspondence with all the other injectors. This is the 3VZE non-interference engine. My conclusion, what came down to the cylinder not firing, is a rough idle. So I decided to pull each spark plug wire off one by one, far enough to disconnect the spark. 1, 5, 2, 4 and 6 were all firing. Number 3 did not have no difference when the spark was disconnected. I pulled the plug and tested for spark before getting to this stage, and the plug was firing, but the plug was dry. So I checked the injector, which is right there, in correspondence with all the other injectors. All ohms matched, all the others were firing. That injector wiring harness tested as working and functioning, even with a noid light, which you can use a little LED. As for testing the injector, the black and red wire corresponds with the positive post on the battery. Yes, I still have the battery reconnected. This is my vehicle. I'm not worried about oil spillage because I can clean that. So that led me down to think low compression, which it was. So I thought I will check the cylinder to see if it holds fluid. Use some penetrating fluid, filled it up enough so that when I pulled it up to top dead center, it would come out the spark plug hole, which it did. That was yesterday. Then I decided to pull the rocker cover off and check for a stuck valve. No valves were stuck, so I checked the valve specs. Now, I had the rocker cover gaskets fitted by myself. I have done extensive work on this engine. I'll go over that in another video tutorial if you guys wish. However, that's not relevant to this. When I had my heart attack, what was it, 2022, so 2 years ago, I was finishing rebuilding the top end of this engine, and I had a mate put the shim buckets and shims in with the exact same cylinders that they came out with. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at him, as this has been a problem even prior to that. Now, when I bought the engine, it's had that problem. So I'm guessing that the previous owner of this engine in particular may or may not have sabotaged the shim diameters. Now, in speculation, the exhaust cam shim is supposed to be, what does it say here, 22 and 32 millimeter, or 0.2 to 0.32 millimeter, and the intake is supposed to be 0.18 and 0.28 millimeter between the two specs. Where am I seeing that? Right there. So I checked them. The exhaust was 0.18 and the intake was 0.30 of a millimeter. So that led me to believe that swapping them over is the key. Seeing as the intake is close to no pressure or furthest away from the lobe, Where did I put those feeler gauges? I have a lot of junk here. I should stop doing this work. Yeah, I can't find my feeler gauges. Alright, so I inserted the feeler gauge after swapping the shims over, rotating the engine, all that. And they are now within spec. So my assumption was correct that someone had literally swapped the shims, either deliberately or by mistake. I'm not pointing any fingers again. Now, how I got this one to drive for the past close to 2 years like that is with the timing. Now pay attention, with the timing, I had to remove that plug harness, I had to unbolt the distributor, take it out, clock it, advance the tooth so it is firing on the balancer. If you can see it, yep, on the balancer, the mark showed up off the timing tab, which is here. The mark was under the bolt. So now when I put this back together, I'll have to turn the distributor back a tooth so that way it can be in correlation with the factory service specs, which is on this vehicle. It is right here. 10 degrees before top dead center. Now I did do a video on this in the past and I realized after uploading that the audio was interfered with while the engine was running due to the ventilation for said engine to suck cold air through the old radiator in order to cool the system. This here is a new radiator. I have just done this radiator, just installed it. I haven't finished fixing up a proper connection to the overflow. It is just an overflow. I've done a full timing kit on this besides the inlet water neck. I have done the idler pulley number 1. I have done the idler tensioner pulley. I have done the water pump, as you can probably see down in there, nice shiny part to the water pump poking out of the thermostat housing. I have done a new belt, new seals, hence why I didn't pull the cam to do that. I done that a different way, as described on Yoda Tech. It's actually a good website. If you're owning one of these, you must check in with the website and see specs and details. This thing still has one more thing left to do before it goes in for its safety inspection, or smog for you Americans, and that is when I had an exhaust shop put the extractors, or fit the extractors for me while I was in hospital. The bolts on the bottom, all 3 on this side and 1 on the other up the back, there's no threads left in the head. And as you can see, as you can see, they're not in straight either. So I'm suspecting either they got no threads, or they have just put them in crooked. They're not clamping, they're not doing their job, and it's not good. So that'll be another job for this weekend. So if you wish to see that repair in progress, then yes, I will upload it maybe next week. I'm not sure when I'll upload this one, but the date today is the 22nd of August 2024, 2 years post heart attack. Now I have got a lot of grime to clean off this engine due to how poorly it was assembled after the exhaust was put on. So I will be utilizing my junk cabinet and using what I can. Now, did I fix this on spending $0 on the repair? For this issue, yes. For the other issues, no. However, I have got a thread cert kit that locks in and you break the tab off. There's a lot of videos on just kits like that alone on YouTube. I won't bore you with the details, but what I can do is when I put this back together, do a short or add a part 2 to this one so that you guys are not bored with me rambling on about the engine, and you guys can see for yourself that it is no longer rattling, knocking, running rough and not getting away under its own power. Stay tuned for that one. It may be a part 2. I may add it in at the end of this one. I'm not sure. Do you guys wish to see more? Because I will be removing the roof racks. I have removed the board basket for the roof. I will be obtaining some some sheet metal and steel, or better yet, sheet aluminium and aluminium bar, and I will be fabricating a rooftop platform. Now, in saying that, it's not the same rooftop platform that everyone else has. Now, it's going to be so that I can load a bit more on there than what I could with the basket. We've only just moved in here too, mind you. I used this vehicle to tow the trailer to move us here, me and my wife. So yeah, if you guys want to see more, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.